It's the Charlie Bahama Show. Yeah.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here on the Charlie Bahama Show. Man, today, hey, guys, get ready, because on today's show, I have the hottest Bahamian models ever, okay? These are the models that went all around the world and doing big things. Some in Sports Illustrated, some in, oh, thank you, Foxworthy.
It's just Dave.
Foxworthy, thank you so much. These are Bahamians that have gone all around the world representing the Bahamas. So we're gonna show photos, so you'll wanna be here. I'm the luckiest guy today, I'm telling you. I wish this was in person instead of Zoom, but hey, if I can get them on my show, I got them on my show. So come on back, Bahamian Supermodels. The Charlie Bahama Show will be right back. Keep up with all things Charlie Bahama by following Charlie Bahama on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get behind-the-scenes access to Bahamian and international celebrities, along with travel info, tips, photography, and video. Like, share, and follow Charlie Bahama on all social media platforms. And subscribe to our Charlie Bahama YouTube page to catch up on all past episodes and bonus clips. You can also go to charliebahama.com anytime. We always keep the lights on. The Charlie Bahama Show. All that same flair with a little less hair.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show. And now I am here with the most beautiful, my most beautiful friend ever. And I'm so happy that she is a friend of mine, Shakara Ladar. Shakara, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
Oh my gosh, we go way back. We've been friends. We sort in the same neighborhood, but we just grew up together. And all the guys out there are so jealous. This show, I have the most beautiful Bahamians on this show. And, you know, that's why I did a show, just so I could have beautiful people on the show like you.
Well, you know, we have to show the beauty that we have hidden in our island. We have a lot of gems, you know. Not only do we have our beautiful oceans and we have the islands, but we got these beautiful women that, you know, the world doesn't always get to see. So we got to showcase them whenever we can.
Amen. Amen to that. And I will do it anytime I can, you know. But so Shakara, I know you, so I know all that you've done. And a lot of folks have probably seen you and didn't realize that you were a Bahamian, you know, because you left at a young age to pursue modeling too. So tell me about that and leaving at such a young age. Was it like daunting, nerve-wracking?
Well, you know, I grew up in the fashion industry. So mom and dad had Tempo Paris. And I used to travel to the shows with my father since I was 8 years old. To buy for the stores. I traveled the world with him. And I just always remember people talking to him saying, you know, she should model, she should, and dad pushing him out the way like, boy, shut up, move on, y'all be quiet. So this seed had been planted in my head for a very young age. And I was 13 years old and clear as day of what my path was and what I needed to do to get there. And I started working on mom and dad. I need to go, I want to go. And then I used education. Now, you see, I was a manipulative little child there. I was like, what parent can say no to their child for some education? So I was pushing boarding school all along, knowing that as soon as I hit the ground there, I was going to go after these agencies. And, you know, the funny thing, I was never afraid. I was really excited about it. So I came across some photos ages ago of the first pictures I took to submit to the agencies. I put on this full-blown production photo shoot. I had the bikini on. I came out of the shower with the hair wet, with the hat, in my dormitory stall with the toilet in the back with someone feet on the bottom. Then the other one was inside in my dorm bedroom, and I'm striking a pose and I'm taking these pictures. And in the bunk bed behind me, you see my roommate's like face looking at me. I mean, it was hilarious.
But it worked.
But it worked. So I sent it to 10 agencies and 9 of them offered me a contract. I'm so grateful to my parents for the way they raised me and educated me, because I saw and experienced some pretty outrageous and scary stuff for a child that age, as far as racism, extreme racism, abuse. They were abusing these young girls. Like, I mean, it was horrifying. And just eating disorders, or just being told constantly that you're not tall enough, you're not light enough, you're not dark enough, you're not skinny enough. Everyday rejection.
Wow.
And that could really break you.
Yeah.
But my parents really invested in creating a young woman with a hard head, some thick skin, and a hell of a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah.
So that got me through,
Yeah. Now, before we move on to what you're doing now, tell me about, because one of the biggest things was getting in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. I mean, that is phenomenal. So how did that happen?
Well, that's an exciting story. So I did a advertisement for a clothing company called Mecca, and they did this incredible shoot with me. It was one of my first major shoots in New York, and it was in all the magazines. Apparently, one of the directors of Sports Illustrated, Diane at the time, was flicking through and she saw this picture of me. It was like, who is this girl? I've never seen her. Who is this girl? I remember clear as day. I was at a show. It was the shows in New York, and I was backstage at a fashion show, and my agents start calling, and they start calling. They won't stop calling. So I pick up the phone. I'm about to run out on stage, and they're screaming. They're like, at 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready. There's a car coming for you. You're flying to Mexico to shoot sports. So I don't know. I've heard that last minute Tyra Banks couldn't make it for some scheduling issues. So they were left with this vacancy. And that was my opportunity, and something caught this woman's eye. And she pushed to get me in. And a lot of the photographers rejected me. They did not want to shoot me. And there's this one photographer, I keep shouting him out because this man started everything for me. His name is Antoine Verglas. Antoine is an incredible photographer.
Yes.
Antoine, I'll take her. I'll shoot her. I'll give it a try. So there I was. I showed up in Mexico, and Heidi Klum walks out and she's like, hey, and she's so friendly. And I was just like, oh my God. And all the stars start walking out and greeting me. And there I am, this scrawny little girl in the middle of all this greatness. And that was how everything started. And actually after that, Antoine Verglas went to Victoria's Secret because he was also shooting Victoria's Secret. And he pushed and he got me in the door there.
Wow.
Also.
All right. Shout out to Antoine.
Shout out to Antoine.
We're going to be showing you photos. Yeah, we're going to be showing you photos because you got to see these amazing photos. And your career just kept going bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you had kids also. But now you have something really amazing just as much. I mean, now you're like a mogul. You have NutriBoost Detox. Now tell me a little bit about this. I'll tell everybody, because in the Bahamas they can get it.
I'm proud to say we are in most of the major hotels. We're in Atlantis, at Starbucks in Atlantis, at Plato's at Atlantis, at the Four Seasons, which was the one and only, on Paradise Island. We're in Albany at a wonderful cafe called Bisou Bisou. And it's really exciting that we've had such incredible response to the product.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congratulations for that. And all the best to you. And, when you're in Bahamas or Miami, let's hang out again, all right?
Thank you.
All right, sweetheart.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Bye.
More Charlie Bahama and more Bahamian models right after this. The Charlie Bahama Show will be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show. And the Bahamian beauties are continuing with three new beauties and then the one ugly guy. And Stephanie, who, you've known her with producing Goombay Kids, STEM Cadets, and so much other. I mean, you also have your own modeling agency. So I joked with Stephanie. She's been on my show more than I have. But Stephanie is here, and it's so good to have her. But now we're talking to her in the capacity of not so much a producer, but as a model, because Stephanie used to be a top model. And then also my Jessica, who I've used so many times. She's the most beautiful girl in the world. And then Veronika, I'm just meeting now, who's in New York, but now in LA, because that's how these supermodels go. They're in, New York, LA, blah, 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 blah. Stephanie. So tell me, because, I've known you before also when you first started out, because a good friend of ours who I was hanging out with back in the day, and when I was doing Electric Air, he was on a lot. You guys were on. Byron Austin Coley. So tell me about how you first started in modeling and a bit about Byron and that model management.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing time, it was the 90s and model management was doing so well. And they had this fantastic agency on Victoria and Bay Street. And they came to St. Andrews and they were talking about their modeling training classes. And they scouted me. And I didn't, I was very young, I was like 15. And so I was like, me, are you serious? Because, I was very thin and I was shy and I just never thought of myself that way. And it was just a really great thing that happened, because from there I took their training and I was painfully shy and awkward, and they helped give me confidence, teach me how to do runway walking and how to present myself to clients. And then they took a trip to New York, and I was very lucky to see all the agencies and get selected by Elite. So I was really blessed that my first job was Italian Vogue with Stephen Meisel, because if you get that kind of job, you basically start to get a lot more work after that if you work with him. So from there, I did the Dolce & Gabbana campaign with him, and then American Vogue. So he continued to use me. And then from there, it was Harper's Bazaar and Glamour and Elle and all the runway shows every season, and I did that for a good 8 years all over the world. And now that I was away and saw it and the dynamics, I was like, I want to be able to pass that knowledge on and afford those opportunities to other models. So I'm so proud of these models that we have today with us. Jessica and Veronika are both with CMM. They're our top models. Jessica is known for all of her local and international work. I mean, she's worked with local and international brands, magazines, campaigns. You can see her billboard around Nassau.
I know.
She's done just recently, she was, starring in a DJ Khaled music video. She's done Mercedes-Benz commercials, Lucy Magazine, Cosmopolitan, Paper, Ministry of Tourism ads she was featured in. I mean, she's, it's more like, what hasn't she done?
Jessica, because you are the go-to, and you remained in the Bahamas. So I would say you're the top model who remained in the Bahamas. You just really represent us really well. So for you working on all these projects, I mean, the one good thing about you is you get to stay home, but yet you're all over the world. You can go all over the world and you'll see your image somewhere. So how has the modeling industry been for you?
You know what? I used to think that I needed to be elsewhere in order to kind of get the success that I wanted, but no. Staying home, I am so glad that I did. I can't stay away from home for too long anyway, so.
There's also other models out there as well, because this is the Bahamian Supermodel episode. We have Shakara on, and we won't have Janine Fox, but Janine is somebody I've known for many years and worked with, and also we'll have Chase Carter, and we'll talk about Tess Carter as well. So we got a lot of models nowadays that are out there doing big things.
And you know what's funny? The person that actually put it in my head that I should start modeling was Shakara's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now we have also Veronika. Now, so Veronika we're catching her. She's in LA right now, so we're catching her at her lunchtime. So, so now Veronika, are you
Yes.
you're having lunch? Are you one of those models that just have, I'll just have a salad? Or you can have a big meal. You
Definitely
Bahamian,
not.
you Bahamian, so you just say, I'll have
I've seen
just
her
peas and
stories.
rice and macaroni, and you just say, stay thin just like that.
Yeah, I'm thankful to have a fast metabolism right now, but I can definitely eat.
So Veronica, what got you into modeling?
Basically, I started since I was younger. So it's always been like a part of my life, which I'm thankful for.
Right.
And I just always admire like the craft of it, just the expression, the glitz, the glamour. And I've just always been that type of being. I've always just been in like the creative field at a very young age, especially
Right.
growing up in New York. So that just allowed me to be like exposed to a lot of things. So I'm just thankful for having like that opportunity to discover myself, discover like what type of model I do want to be. So, and especially being in the fashion capital, I've just always just admired like having a sense of style and following the trends, and just fell in love with the runway and basically fashion. So that's me.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I think too, also, it's the time for the Bahamas, because we've always been unique, right? And I don't know if we realize that, and we sort of like try to assimilate, but now they're looking for unique. So people like Jessica, Veronica, Chase, Shakara, and Janine, like folks like that. You all are unique, the three of you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I just wanted to let Bahamians see this. And Veronica, thanks for stopping in during your lunch over in LA. I know you're mainly in New York, but you're in LA working over there, so I know it's lunchtime in LA while we're shooting this. So thanks so much for stopping by. All right. So good luck to you all. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. More Charlie Bahama right after this. The Charlie Bahama Show will be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Charlie Bahama Show, and now we are here with another Bahamian supermodel, Chase Carter. And Chase, it's so good to have you on the show. How are you?
So good to be on it. Thank you for having me. I'm good. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm good. So, like all our Bahamian supermodels, they're all over the place. Shakara is in Argentina, Veronica was in New York, and now you're in Arizona now?
I'm in Arizona at the moment, yes.
Wow.
I'm preparing to give birth to my baby in 2 weeks, so we're doing it here.
Wow. You'd never know that. Supermodels are like, they're thinner than anybody else, even when they're pregnant. Wow. So your career is just taken off. It's doing fantastic. And you were in Sports Illustrated. How was that, and how did that happen?
Okay, well, Sports Illustrated happened through my agency. They just send us out to meet, certain clients, and Sports Illustrated was one of my dream clients and who I 100% wanted to work with. So I just went on a regular casting. They do a casting for their issue every year, and I just went to it. My agency sent me, and that's how it happened.
Wow. And the thing is, you're a very sporty person too. Like sports so that must be so amazing. I mean, to be in Sports Illustrated, and then the swimsuit issue is like bringing your two loves together.
Absolutely. That was, like I said, it was my dream. It was my dream job to do out of all the things that I could have accomplish in modeling. They were my dream client to work with. So I was like, checked it off the list, and I felt great about it. And I love sports, and everything that came from Sports Illustrated as well was fantastic around sports. So it opened a lot of opportunities as well for just like being more athletic and showing that side of me.
Yeah. So as you said, how did modeling happen for you? Is this something you pursued, or is just like, as they say a lot of times, you were just discovered?
I was just discovered. I was discovered in an airport when I was younger, about 13, 14. I was with my mom in Australia, and this woman came up to me and asked if I was already modeling, and I said no. And she introduced me to 5 different agencies in New York. One, school break, we went up, my mom and I, to New York, and then IMG, which is the agency I'm still with, they signed me, and the rest was history.
Now, also, I noticed when you did the Sports Illustrated,
you shot some of it or all of it in Harbor Island.
Yeah. And that was, like I said, it was one of those dream situations turned into the most amazing, spectacular, like series of events.
Now,
I was able to, and it was my first ever shoot in the Bahamas. So that was cool.
So did they know you were from the Bahamas and said, let's take you to the Bahamas? Or did they just say, hey, you're going to go to the Bahamas? And you're like, hey, you know, I grew up there.
That's hilarious. I have been asked that question every time. No, they 100% knew I was from the Bahamas. When you go into these castings for to meet these clients, you kind of just give them your whole backstory. So they're like, let's bring the Bahamian to the Bahamas. So yeah, it was all them, and they knew. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And so now your younger sister, Tess, is also modeling. Is she at your agency also?
No, she's with a different agency, and she is absolutely killing it. And I didn't pave the way. She's leading the way right now. She's absolutely killing it. I tell everyone she's the model of the family. So yeah.
You're the sports person. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Thank God, y'all. Yeah. Thank God you guys look like your mom. You took after your mom because Mark. I'm just kidding, Mark.
I've never heard that. I was like, everyone says we look like her dad.
Oh, no.
It flatters him every time too. So
I know, but see, me and your dad grew up together, so I'm not looking to flatter him. I'm looking to give him a, you know. But anyway, no, but you guys do. You have the perfect balance between your mom and your dad.
Oh, thank you.
So now, what's the future for you? Are you going to, I mean, I know modeling still, but are you trying to move into like I know, because I know your background or your sport, you wanted to go into a sports type field. What are you looking to do now?
Well, I've been kind of out of it since I've been pregnant. And since that's coming to an end, which I'm very elated by that, I am looking towards like continuing modeling and then leaning more into like the non-scripted side of things, which is just using my voice and my personality to do some TV stuff, or maybe like even the production side. I like being behind like the creative, I don't know, behind the camera in a creative way, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you know, this has opened the door, and you know, it's going to keep going for you. And I'm so happy, and you know, we're just so proud of, you know, Bahamians, you know, making it in modeling, and that's what this show is about. This show is all about Bahamians making it. You know, we know the Bahamas itself, the country, is the most beautiful in the world. We know that, sun, sand, and sea. But also, we have the most beautiful people in the world as well. You know, and all shades. That's the thing. You know, from black, middle, and white. We just have them all right there in the Bahamas. So, well, Chase, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, taking the time out, and, you know, all the best to you with the baby and also with your career, okay? We'll be looking out for you to be, I guess, with your sports. And you're such a great speaker as well, and sports background. I could see you, you know, they need you on the NFL, you know, like hosting the Monday Night Football or whatever, you know.
I will just like try to keep up with my fantasy team that we're just like going down. I'm on a 4-week loss streak, and I'm just anyways. So I can't even call myself like a sports advocate anymore because it's just not going great with my fantasy this year. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Okay.
Thank you. That's the one I need luck with.
All right. Hey, more Charlie Bahama right after this. If you want more Charlie Bahama, go to any of our social media pages or subscribe to the Charlie Bahama YouTube page. Well, that was a fantastic Charlie Bahama show. I got to do these type of shows more often, but you see the beauty we have not only in the Bahamas, but the Bahamian people, just beautiful people. And I guess for now, I'll be your Bahamian supermodel, the guy, since it was all women, you know, I'll be the Bahamian supermodel guy. Anyway, listen, when we're not on, you can always check us out at Charlie Bahama, all our social media feeds, or go to charliebahama.com, and please subscribe to our Charlie Bahama YouTube channel, where you'll see a lot of behind the scenes and extra stuff that you don't see on this if the interviews run long, okay? So remember, be good to yourselves and be good to everybody else. Please, let's be kind, all right? Until next week. See ya.
Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show. Charlie Bahama Show.
Yeah.